Hello, hello, hello. The live has started. How are y'all doing? Thanks for joining. As always, I have to figure out if we have the bugs worked out. There's a 20-second delay between my hello, hello, hello. I can hear myself. Here we are. I think we are there. Thanks for joining. My name is Tim. Let me know if you can see me. I think you can see me, though. It looks like you can. Thanks for joining. Here we are on another Sunday evening in the Villages. Yes, Ronald, I'm 12 hours ahead of you. Far East, 12 hours ahead, exactly 12 hours. Please leave any comments below. I will display your comment. I'll answer your comments to the best of my ability. But thanks for joining. Here we are, another week in the Villages. I appreciate that. So what do you want to talk about today? You want to talk about new homes, pre-owned homes. I had some subscribers ask questions about pre-owned homes. So I started doing a couple of pre-owned home videos. So let me know if you like those pre-owned home videos. I can do more of them. And here's the Villages website. Let's see what's going on in the Villages on the website. Here's a pre-owned home in Opal. Look at that. This is the Shayla Patio Villa neighborhood. They have a Shayla Patio Villa already for sale as a pre-owned home. Interesting. And then right next door, I believe this is the Joy Villa neighborhood. Right there. So it's pretty interesting to see these homes are sold less than 6 months ago and they're already on the market as pre-owned homes. So let's go through and kind of work ourselves from top to bottom. Right here is a cottage villa neighborhood right here. I did a video on one of these homes. This is located on Marshband Trail. What is the name of that road? They don't name it. McNeil Drive. It's right on McNeil Drive in the village of Well Point. This is an interesting home. I think I did a video on this. This is a cottage villa neighborhood. And I did a video earlier in the week trying to explain the difference between a cottage villa and a cottage home. And you want to look at new houses? Guy wants to look at new houses. Okay. Does the ARC committee work for the county or the Villages? The ARC is part of the Villages. It's the Architectural Review Committee. It's part of the Villages, not the county, I think. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's look it up for sure. Architectural Review. Okay, so let's share this tab. Let's learn about the Architectural Review Committee. It's located on the districtgov.org website. So let's take a look. It looks like there's an ad. That ad is annoying. But anyway, the Architectural Review Committee. The purpose of the Architectural Review Committee is to maintain the high quality and consistency. So it's part of the Community Development District. Whether there's a pool addition, Chapter 190 authorizes community development districts to adopt rules necessary to enforce guidelines for external architectural control. So this is not the committee. This is this districtgov.org, which is quasi the villages. So this is not the county. The community department, So the meetings. Remember, I keep telling you to be active in your district board meetings. Most districts have meetings every month. And here is the ARC. They're actually holding meetings every Wednesday. So the ARC meets every week on Wednesday for districts 1 through 10 and any district in Lady Lake and Lake County. So they're meeting every Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. at Brownwood at Kissel Road. So if you have any type of, hi Cecilian, how are you? We're just talking about the ARC, which is anything you do that changes the outside of your home, you should seek ARC approval. That is what I have been told. And here is your seats. You have a District 1 seat vacant. So if you live in District 1, you could run and try to be on the ARC committee. Committee members. Here are the committee members. They meet every Wednesday. District 2, alternative. A lot of times they'll have a district member and then an alternative. Do you have to be a board supervisor to be on the ARC? You might have to be. Lots of vacancy. District 5 has a vacancy. I live in District 5. Should I run to be on the ARC in District 5? Lots of vacancies. It's one of those committees that you can never win on because somebody's always coming to you for a pool addition, a landscaping, a painted driveway, a porch enclosure, coloring of sidewalks and driveways, pergolas. People are always coming to you. And then you're also working with the Community Standards Department. So I don't know if I would want to serve on that board. People, you're gonna have a lot of headaches on a board like that. But it is part of the Community Development District. It is not part of the Sumter County or Marion County. Well, building site plans, you can obtain a building site plan by calling Building Department of the county. So you need to go into the ARC with a plan, even if it's landscaping. You need to have your landscaper draw a plan out, and you have to bring it to the committee. Meeting agenda and minutes. So District 11 meets every Wednesday, 11 through 15. That's the southern part of the villages. And they are meeting at the Ezell Rec Center every Wednesday, 1 p.m. So if you have a change you want to make to the outside of your home, any change, I think you'd even need to go there to the ARC. This is the comment we're looking at. It actually works for the district. So the answer is it works for the district. If you remember, the developer develops these districts, residential districts, and then sells them over with a bond to the Community Development District. They take a bond out, and that's what the bond is on your house. So they take a bond out, which is a loan. They pay off the developer, and then they charge the homeowner the bond. So it is the Community Development District. It's not the county, and it's not the developer. Hello, Sicilian. So there you have the Architectural Review Committee, and there are your members of it. Let's take a look at the meeting agenda and minutes, just to give you a flavor of what they're talking about here. Can be a very nice web page. Let's take a look. Past events. August 20th is the next meeting. So here, August 20th, August 27th, August 13th was a meeting. Let's take a look at what that meeting looks like. And this is all public information. Oh, here we go. Here's the agenda. So this is the August 13th meeting at Ezell, districts 11 through 15. Call to order, roll call, pledge of allegiance. Welcome to the meeting. Swearing in those, okay. Old business. So here people are coming in to provide testimony. My God. Here is old business, District 12. Here is a property location, Lachlan Lane. Something's going on there. New business. Look at all the new requests for ARC approval. Look at all these. Wow. There's a lot of stuff going on in District 13. People are making changes. Wow. That's interesting. So if you go here again, and you want to look at the agenda packet, let's just take a look at this one, for instance. So if you go here, let's take a look at Lachlan Lane, 178-406 Lachlan Lane is the address. So let's take a look at that and see what it is. Uh-oh. So you have to fill out an application. So this was filled out by the homeowner, and they want to modify plan to rock the front yard. So they want to put rocks in the front yard. That's what they want to do. Let me see. Can you see? Share this tab instead. Okay. No. Share this tab instead. So I'm just looking at one of these applications for the ARC. It was submitted on August 13th. The name is Garland. I'm waiting for my TV to catch up with me. But here's an ARC application. You need to fill out one of these. Okay. There you have it. So you fill this out, you take it to the meeting, and you have to fill out removing sod, email. So here you go. So they're going to remove sod on the left side of the property, replace it with stones that are aesthetically pleasing, contrasting the existing stones. Plants and bushes are currently placed. All current grass in front will be replaced. So you need to have a drawing. This is what it looks like. So here's a drawing, and you have to have your landscaper make a drawing like this, and you have to bring it into the ARC. So here's the yellow. They're going to take out the sod. They're going to put stones in. Here's Lachlan Lane. So that is what you need to do if you want the ARC to approve your job. Let's just take a look at another one, for instance, just to give you an idea. Re-rock. So a lot of these ARC is concerned with landscaping. So this homeowner wants to de-rock. Clarified the distance to the front property line with landscaping will be 13.5 feet from the back curb. So here is the information. Install natural impression landscape wall. Here they're going to put a wall and caps property line, small curbing sites. Interesting. Let's take a look at what this homeowner, see site plan. Oh, wow. Look at the site plan. Concrete curbing wall. They're going to put a concrete wall in. My God. 7 foot offer must be 13 and from concrete curb. So there's your plans. And you need to obtain their approval before, because I just saw an article in the villages-news.com, and it's very common that people will make modifications to their home like this, not seek approval, and then a complaint comes in later, and the ARC and the community standards get involved, and then they issue a order to replace your home and make your home go back to the original form. So all of the money you would have wasted, and you would have to put your home back to the original form. Now, some people will quickly, when a complaint comes in, they'll quickly make drawings like this, and they'll take it in front of the ARC board after the fact. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes they get approved, sometimes they don't. But if you're going to be spending this kind of money on landscaping, you need to get it approved beforehand by the ARC. Oh, it's very short. Gotcha. I got you. But I see so many articles about villagers spending big money on landscaping, and then later on they have to tear it apart and put it back to where it belongs. There was an article in the villages-news.com 2 weeks ago. Very, very common. I cannot stress to you enough. Oh, gotcha. Okay, the wall is that circular landscaping, kind of like on the video I did yesterday. So if you do anything to your home on the outside, take a fence down, put a fence up, paint your driveway. I even think you would need to get ARC approval if you wanted to put curb and gutter on your home. Anything to the outside of the home, you need to go to the ARC board for prior approval. You need to get prior approvals, yes. I have seen where people do get approved after the fact. They put their landscaping in, somebody complains, the community standards comes out, issues them a citation, for lack of a better word, and then the homeowner will get their landscaper, make a drawing like this, go in front of the ARC board, and they will pray that the ARC will approve it. So I have seen it done after the fact, but I wouldn't take a chance. Yes, that happens, Guerrero. It happens a lot. It happens where homeowners make changes to their home. I've already talked to a homeowner in the Villages that told me, "Oh, this is my home. I can do to it what I want." I said, "No, you can't. You need to get ARC approval." So there are a lot of homes on the market today for sale, pre-owned homes, that are in violation of the community standards. And it's up to you as a potential home buyer to get that checked out and verified. And I'm going to tell you right up front, the real estate agents in the Villages, whether they're a VLS agent or MLS agent, they don't check unless you ask them to check. And the only way you can check is to go to the ARC and see if they have any of these approvals on their books for your home. And I see there's a vast lack of knowledge, because you could buy a home, you don't even know there was changes made, but there were changes made that needed approval. So I don't know how you can actually detect that. I think this is a big void in the villages, is how do you control these changes? How do you know that there was a change made? How do you know what to look for? Because you can hire a real estate agent, they're going to say, oh, that looks good to me, but they don't have the expertise to know there was a change made to the home that needed approval by the ARC. That's kind of the issue. Not only that the VLS agents, but the MLS agents also don't know. So if you can find somebody in the villages that knows that, you're doing pretty good. You are doing really well. So what is this? I would hate to have an ARC come to me as the new owner and tell me I have spent thousands to fix non-approved. Well, it wouldn't be the ARC, it would be a neighbor's complaint to the community standards. So what happens, and I heard of a story where a neighbor complained of a change that a prior owner made. And they made the complaint after the prior owner relocated. So the owner made changes. The neighbor didn't make any complaints about it. He waited for the owner to leave and a new owner to buy the home, and then he made the complaint. I heard of stories like that because he was friends with the individual that made the landscaping changes, so he didn't report it. But the minute that friend sold the home and a new buyer bought it, then he reported it to the community standards. That happens in the villages. It happens probably more often than you think. I think it's pretty crappy to do. If you're not going to complain about it with your friend, then why complain about it if somebody new buys it? Yeah, I think that's really the only way you get around it. You put a contingency clause in if there's any ARC violations that haven't been disclosed. Yeah, when I sell my house in Wisconsin, as an owner, I have to complete a disclosure statement. This home is in good condition. I don't know of any violations. I don't know of any environmental concerns. As a homeowner, you have an obligation to provide a disclosure statement. So I would think that something like this would be in a disclosure statement by the seller of the home saying, I don't know of any ARC violations. That should be part of a disclosure statement. Let me know in the comments below if you know if any of the real estate agents in the villages, when they sell a pre-owned home, do they have the homeowners sign a disclosure statement saying that they don't know of any ARC violations? They didn't make any changes to the home without ARC approval. That should be part of the closing process, selling a pre-owned home, in my opinion, if it's not being done. I did buy a pre-owned home and I cannot remember that being part of the process. I'd have to look back at my closing documents. So I guess I'll always be a great neighbor. Yes. Well, if you buy a new pre-owned home, if that makes sense, if you buy a pre-owned home and your neighbor reports you, you can't really do much about it. It doesn't matter if you piss them off or not. It's just because you're a new neighbor and you're not their friend, they reported you. And they didn't report their friend because he was a friend. So apparently the friend made some changes to landscaping that annoyed him. And it might not have even annoyed them. People will make complaints just because they have nothing better to do, which is kind of surprising. This is what surprised me. One of the surprises of living in the villages is that people got nothing to do, and they go around looking for things to complain about. It's kind of a crazy thing. Yeah, they're very petty. Some people can be in the villages. There's a lot of them. There's more than I expected. The pettiness, it's just wow. And I don't know what it is, if it's due to because everybody lives too close to each other, or if it's because they're retired and they're bored with themselves, they want excitement. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of it going on. And I hear a lot of strange stories. But on the flip side, there's a good reason for it, because one of the stories I heard is somebody painted their designer home, the concrete driveway, they painted it a bright robin egg blue. So you have a ARC committee to try to prevent the robin egg blue concrete driveway paintings. So I understand it's there, it's necessary. It's the enforcement of it. It's always going to be a stickler. It's always going to be problematic because it's complaint driven. Sometimes people complain, sometimes they don't. It's inconsistent. And I think I made a video, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and I said one of my biggest surprises of living in the villages is that it's consistently inconsistent, because some rules apply to some people because somebody files a complaint, and then some rules don't apply to some people because nobody files a complaint. And that's the part of the unfairness with a complaint-driven system, is that you get inconsistencies with how the rules are enforced. And I think that's one of my issues that I have with the villages, is the inconsistency of the rules and the enforcement of the rules. You are right. Everyone is retired with nothing to do. Yes. But anyway, that's the way it is. So that's the ARC. It's a good topic. It's probably it's probably the highest probability topic that you're going to face when you move to the villages. If you don't move to the village, if you're not living in the villages, there's a good chance you're going to be dealing with a community standards issue or an ARC related issue. Very good chance of it. So you should really understand it. Hey, JLo, how are you? Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. We're just talking a little bit about the ARC Architectural Review Committee, why it's there, who uses it. And bottom line is, if you make any changes to the outside of your home or your yard, you need to go to the ARC to get approval. And you need to fill out an application, and the ARC meets once a week, etc., etc., etc. And the ARC is part of the community development district. It's not part of the county. It's not part of the developer. So that is what we learned about the ARC. Any other questions about ARC? We can move to another topic. What topic do you want to talk about? New homes. A tour of the new homes. That's what I always talk about. Let's take a look at the new homes. I can't get enough of the new homes. Stop sharing. Share this tab instead. Let's look at the new homes. That's not a new home. That's a pre-owned home. So let's see where you are. Here we are at the map, the new home map. So what do we learn from the map this week? I haven't looked at this for 3 or 4 days, to be honest with you. Believe it or not, I normally study the map pretty well. And what are we learning from the map? We are looking at, looks like they sold this house up in Well Point that was for sale. We had a bunch of pending homes, all these Well Point homes that were discounted near the Street of Dreams. They're all sold now. Well, that's a good thing. What I notice is they're releasing a ton of homes down here in Oak Hollow. Lots and lots of homes. I see there are. The other thing I notice is that these patio villas are not selling very well. They listed them quite a while ago, probably what, 3-4 weeks ago, and they've only sold a handful of them. So these patio villas are not selling. These are the Isabella Garden Villas. They're not selling because of the botanical model. These are all botanicals, so we already know that. These are the cottage homes. These cottage homes do not have fenced-in yards. Lukewarm, I would say the sales on these homes are. And then you get the Tim Villas. Nobody's buying these. This is like the only patio villa neighborhood in the South that's available for sale. Whippoorwill Models, JLo. When are you moving to the Villages? You don't live there right now, do you, JLo? When are you going to move? So tell me why these Tim Villas are not selling. There's a ton of them. Could it be because they're next to this electrical substation? And then you've got more, all of these designer homes in Oak Hollow. My God, the floodgates opened and they are releasing these for sale. Did anybody notice, and this is very typical, did anybody notice that they are selling these homes next to Marsh Bend Trail before they are listing these homes in here? All these homes are built and ready to be sold right here. You notice that they're listing and selling these before these. Can anybody tell me why? That's very typical. Hello, good evening, Racer Girl. How fast do you go? It's like the Villages is listing these over here for sale before the middle homes. There is a reason for that. And I brought that reason to you several times before. So here are the cottage villa homes. These are selling. These red dots, those are the cottage villas. These will have a fenced-in yard. Look at this. Here's an open house tomorrow. Sun-kissed model. Let's take a look at this. I think the cottage home is the best value in the Villages. Does anybody agree or disagree? The cottage home, you can get them for that 300, low 300, not including the bond. You're getting a 2-car garage. You're getting a home that's on a large lot, the size of a designer home lot. You're also getting a fenced-in backyard. This is your cottage villa. I don't understand why they don't sell more cottage villas. I don't understand why people don't demand more cottage villas. These are efficient homes to live in. When I was moving to the Villages 6 years ago, whatever, I was looking at pre-owned cottage homes. They were hard to find. When one was listed for sale, it would sell almost immediately. They don't make many of them, and people like them. They sell. I don't think you're going to lose any money if you buy a cottage home. This is a quartz countertop. Looks like it's light gray, speckles. Yeah, people like the fences. They do. That's why they're building veranda homes. They're building a lot of veranda home neighborhoods, actually. Lots and lots of veranda home neighborhoods. Because the ones along Marshman Trail are listening and don't want the others to compete. Well, that's the right answer. That's why they are selling those homes first, Scott Miller. They're selling those homes that are in less desirable locations. And that is the point. And that's what the Villages does. When they even open a new neighborhood, they will sell the homes or list the homes for sale that's at the entrance of the new neighborhood where most of the traffic goes through. They will sell those homes and list those homes for sale first. And the homes in the back of the neighborhood that are more secluded, more desirable, they will sell those homes last in that neighborhood. That is how they list homes. That is how they list homes. And a good example is here. These charity villas. I think some of the first homes they listed for sale in the charity villas were the ones along Corbin Trail. A lot of times, here's where you enter the charity villa neighborhood. A lot of times, some of the first homes they'll list for sale would be these homes right at the entrance of the neighborhood. They'll list those for sale first. I know they did that at the Michael Villas, which are right over here. Michael Villas, right here, this neighborhood right here. This is the Michael Villas. This is Central Parkway. This is Bexley Trail. When they opened up the Michael Villas, they listed all these homes right in the front entrance area first, before they sold the homes in the back. And that's the same concept they're using here. They're selling all these homes along the road. And then they know they're going to sell these homes quickly because they're in good locations. They know they're going to sell these quickly. But if you open all these homes up and people buy these, there's less of a chance they're going to buy these because it's new. It's a new neighborhood. Oak Hollow is still new. It's a new village. Everybody wants to live in the new village. So the village just says, okay, if you really want to live in the new village, buy one of these homes here that's next to the Marsh Bend Trail. And then later on, we know we'll be able to sell these homes in the prime location in Oak Hollow. So that's the strategy. Racer Girl, the warranty on the new homes are only 7.5 years? I would have thought it would only been 12 months. So explain the warranty. Yes, that's the reason. That's one of the reasons, Scott, for the cottage homes. People want 2.5 car garages. They also want concrete homes. And you cannot get a concrete cottage home in the Villages. Somebody made a comment, asked a question. Can you get a concrete wall home in a cottage home? And the answer is no. So it's the 2.5 car garage, it's the golf cart garage, it's the concrete home. Those are the reasons people don't want them. I'm not in the Villages, Racer Girl. I'm in the Far East right now. I'll be back in the Villages, but I'm not there. I'm not in Florida right now. If I was in Florida, I would video there. You know me, I can't stay home. I'll take my video camera, I'll go everywhere. And I will be there again. Not quite sure when, but I will be there again. September or March. Put that on your calendar. September or March, you will see videos standing on the street corner. Here I am standing on the corner of blankety blank, blankety blank. You will hear that again, I promise. How come you don't film on golf cart rides? So but I am doing that here in the Far East. I am standing on street corners and I'm saying, here I am standing on a street corner because I have a channel, a separate channel. I have 2 YouTube channels. And I'm very, very busy on my other channel. And I'm busy on this channel. Yes, yes, I will. You will hear the friendly sounds of here I am standing on the corner of blankety blank. Some people don't like that though. But anyway, thank you for your concern, Racer Girl. I appreciate that. So back to the map. So let's go back and here, this is the first house in this neighborhood I see open up. So right here, kind of crazy. This is a brand new neighborhood right here, and they have one lonely house, pre-owned. Let's go to filter. It's on. So they're starting to open up this neighborhood right next to the Wellpoint Rec Center. What is this one? It's a Kingfisher 174V. What's the bond on 174V? It's so new they don't have a photo. 174V. Let's take a look. I'm all about the bonds. 174V. There we go. Let's share this screen. Now you have 174V bond. And it is $43,440. That's the other thing I noticed about Wellpoint. I see a lot of designer home neighborhoods with low bonds. Generally, a designer home neighborhood has a bond in the 50,000 range, but I've been seeing quite a few neighborhoods in Wellpoint with $40,000, $43,000 bonds, similar to a cottage home bond. Can anybody tell me why that is? Why is that? 4.72%. So anytime you see a home in Wellpoint, Oak Hollow, Edenfield, those are all 4.72% interest rates, which is slightly lower than what you see in Water's Edge, Shady Brook. Those are 5.19%. You have a payment of $2,872 on that home. And somebody made a comment that the bonds are getting outrageous, which I totally agree. So now we're back to the home. No photos. $412,000 with a $40,000 bond. You're talking $450,000, $455,000 all in for a 1,923 square foot Kingfisher. That seems to be a pretty good value. That is, how much is that per square foot? That's pretty low. What's your other channel? You want to know my other channel? That's my other channel. I do a variety of different things. Look out for the jeepneys. Yeah, you must be watching my other channel because that's now my catchphrase here. I said, don't get run over by a jeepney. That is my other catchphrase. You know I'm going to come up with a catchphrase. You love the Kingfisher. Oh, is it wood framed? Let's see. Yeah, it is. It's a wood framed Kingfisher. It is a wood frame. But that's a new neighborhood opening up. This is a new neighborhood. This is, what are these? These are veranda homes. They are making a lot of Veranda Home neighborhoods. This is Oak Hollow, Veranda Home South. And then you have, here is the Wellpoint Veranda Homes West. Here you're going to have a Veranda Home neighborhood. Here, Oak Hollow, Veranda Homes, I think, north. Here you're going to have another Veranda Home neighborhood, Oak Hollow, Veranda Homes South, I think. And then in Edenfield, you're going to have another Veranda Home neighborhood. I think this is going to be a Veranda Home neighborhood. You're going to have a lot of options to choose Veranda Home neighborhoods. Speaking of Edenfield, I see that they're starting to fill in the map with outlines and drawings and lot lines in this neighborhood. They're filling out the map right here in Edenfield. I did notice that the Villages published another Edenfield video. So they're gearing up to market and sell here in Edenfield. Scott Miller. Racer Girl, they don't make block anymore. They make precast walls. And you can see now on the new homes, they have a dash PC after it for precast. So you can have a Kingfisher F for wood frame, Kingfisher PC for precast. It used to be Kingfisher C for concrete block. But I noticed that the Villages is changing some of their naming and nomenclature to PC. So if you see a dash PC, I think it means precast walls, poured walls. Some models, they still only build in concrete block. They do build them in block sometimes. And let me know if you have spoken to a Villages sales rep. Can you get any model home in concrete block if you want? Or do you have to get it into the precast wall? I don't know the answer to that. Would the Villages build you? Because certain models, they don't have the precast walls for. You have to build concrete block. I think it's like the Premier homes and things like that. I think those are still going to be concrete block as of now, I think. So anyway, the Villages, let's go to the Villages YouTube. YouTube, the Villages. Okay, let's go to the Villages YouTube. Share this tab instead. Try not to get copyrighted. So let's take a look at the videos. So here you have your dream home awaits you in Edenfield. Well, they already released an Edenfield video like a month or two ago. Discover Downtown Middleton. They released an Edenfield video a while ago. So now they're releasing another Edenfield. Well, here you go. Build your dream home in Edenfield 1 month ago. Look at the handsome couple there. And now you got another, your dream home awaits you in Edenfield. So they're really marketing Edenfield is what I noticed. So they are marketing Edenfield. So that's going to be your next push. But keep in mind with the marketing strategy, they're going to be selling these neighborhoods next to the turnpike before they start selling the premium area, which is, this is going to be your premium area, the Village of LaGrange. So be patient. How many times am I telling you, be patient? Don't be buying up in the Edenfield. You'll be by the turnpike. You want to be down here in LaGrange. So that's the strategy. You know, people are so excited. I want to be in the brand new village of Edenfield. I'm going to buy one of these homes here. And they move in, and then they hear the turnpike, and then they're disappointed. And then a year later, their friends buy a brand new home down here in LaGrange, and they say, man, I wish I would have bought in LaGrange. So they sell their house in Edenfield. They move a half a mile south. And that's why most villagers move 3 times. That's one of the reasons why. So I'm just saying, when you're in the looking at homes in the villages, be patient, because they're going to develop this area here. When your prime area right here, they're going to make you be patient. Can you be patient? They're testing your patience. And that's what the home buying process is. But when people have their mind made up, they're going to buy. Bam! I want to live here. And then this neighborhood opens up and says, wow, it's a better neighborhood. Let's talk it over with a partner. We're going to sell and move over here. So that's one of the reasons why there's people move 3 times. Because they jumped the gun. Oh, I should be sharing my screen. Because they jumped the gun. Anyway. So anyway, let's go back here. Back to the map. Back to the map. Back to the map. So back to the map. You can see the screen now, right? Yeah, I was talking to nothing. So here you can see the YouTube videos. They are promoting the village of Edenfield, which is right here. It is closer to the turnpike. Still a good location. Maybe if you buy and live in this area, it might be better to be further away from the turnpike. Just my advice. But the Villages is going to promote this and market and sell these. This is your prime location, Village of LaGrange, right next to Eastport. So that's kind of the point. They're going to market and sell this area before they sell this prime location area. My son just got to, he's here? He's in the Philly Willy? Yeah, I just did. Yeah, I'm back to the map, Val. Okay. That's something, I have to share my screens. I've got like 16 tabs open on my computer. And it's not like, and my software doesn't allow me to have 16 tabs. It's only 1 tab at a time. So I have to keep clicking a button to share the screen, and I keep forgetting. So there we are. So we're back at the map. And they're going to, based on their YouTube channel, they're promoting Edenfield before they're going to promote what I call the sweet spot of LaGrange, right here. I did videos right here on, what is this road called? Corbin Trail. Right here, I'm standing on this corner and I'm walking into this area. It was nothing but a flat piece of land. They had home sites developed. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, Eastport's nice and close. Access to the turnpike is nice and close. Access to Sawgrass Grove, nice and close. I'm thinking LaGrange would be pretty nice. And I did a video, maybe 2 months ago, calling out the village of LaGrange as the 2nd best village to live in near Eastport. I still think Water's Edge is #1, but I'm not sure. You could talk me out of Water's Edge being #1. You could talk me into LaGrange being #1. What do you think? Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I do. What do we got here? 1 hour and 2 minutes. Now you see the map. Okay. So anyway, let's take a look at the map. So you have a lot of veranda home neighborhoods coming up. You're going to have a veranda home neighborhood here which is Ocala. You'll have one here. That's Ocala. You already have an Ocala veranda home neighborhood here. You've got, I think these are veranda homes. Yes, veranda homes in Well Point. I believe this area here, this green patch, is going to be a veranda home neighborhood. I think it's going to be Edenfield Verandas North. So if you're in the market for veranda homes, you have the pick of the litter. And if I am looking for a veranda home neighborhood, of all the veranda home neighborhoods, where would I pick? This would be okay. Well Point Veranda Homes North. But I think, I'm thinking I would want to be slightly closer to Eastport. I'm either living in this, I think this is going to be Ocala Veranda South right in here, or I'm living here, Ocala Veranda Homes North. I think I'm living here, Ocala Veranda Homes South, but you might be too close to pickleball courts. This might be pickleball courts, because that is the Blanchard Rec. So I probably would stay away from Blanchard Rec, and I would live here at the Ocala Verandas North. Final answer. If you're looking for a veranda home, this wouldn't be too bad. Right here, this is Well Point Veranda Home South. That'd be okay, but you're a little bit further away from Eastport. So I don't know, either one. What do you think? Am I thinking of moving? No. Maybe I'll have two homes, one here, one there. I'm doing content over here for my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get 2 YouTube channels up and going is what I'm trying to do. Because one isn't enough, apparently, for me. So I'm trying to get 2 of them going. I like the weather here. It doesn't get cold like it does in the villages in winter. In January here, it's still really warm. You can walk around in a tank top. You know, I like to wear tank tops. But in the villages in January, it's cold. So I probably live in both places. Final answer. But the weather's much better here. Year-round weather. Right now, the weather here is exactly like Florida. It's 93 degrees Fahrenheit, humid, rainy season, sunny during the day, clouds up, rains in the afternoon and evening. The only way you can check out in advance that I know of is call a real estate agent in the villages, or you go to the finance and bond section. Let's share this tab. And you look for the bond information, because they load the bond information on these neighborhoods well in advance of listing the homes. So what you want to do is you want to go to District 15, and maybe they even will, soon they will put District 16 on here. District 16 is the new district near Eastport. Right now they only have District 15. And you kind of go through here and you look and you say, Water's Edge Cottage Villas, 249V. Well, you know, those are released. You go into Moultrie Creek Verandas. Here at Shady Brook Cottage Villas. So you kind of do that. That's the only way I can think of. And Edenfield is in the 160s. So the unit number is like a 161V. And the beauty behind the village bond information is the residential units, the designer home units have a unique numbering scheme. And then they kind of break out the villas. So your patio villas, your verandas are going to be in the villa section, and they have unique names. Like here's a Victoria Villas. So your Edenfield bonds are in your 150 series. So here's a Stacy Villa. I would expect that to be somewhere in Edenfield. Here's a Jefferson Villa. I assume they're patio villas because I think they would say cottage villas, but you're kind of pigging in a poke here. Oak Hollow Verandas, Isabella, Tim Villas. But then again, these villas might be cottage. You can tell if they're a cottage villa if you just click on them and you look at the bond amount, because cottage villas will always have a $40,000 or $43,000 bond. So let's click on this one. This is a $26,000 bond, so that's most likely a patio villa neighborhood. So now you look at the Olivia Villas. That is a $26,000 bond. That's also going to be a patio villa neighborhood. So now you're looking at the Alex Villas 159V. And that bond amount is $37,000. So I'm thinking the Alex Villas is going to be a cottage villa neighborhood. That's what I'm thinking. So 159V, I think it's going to be located in somewhere in the Edenfield or Oak Hollow area. It's the Alex Villas. I think that is going to be cottage homes. Here's a Landon Villa. Usually the 170 series is Oak Hollow. So the Landon Villas has a $38,000 bond. That to me looks like it's a cottage villa neighborhood. So that's kind of how you can tell what's coming up. You just kind of know which ones have been released, and you click on the bonds, and if they're in that $38,000, $40,000, $43,000 range, there's a good chance it is a cottage villa neighborhood. But it's not foolproof. The other thing to do is just call a real estate agent. Village is a real estate agent. But I use this bond tab a lot to glean a lot of information, because this tab is controlled by the district gov, and it's not controlled by the developer. And these people are loading bond information before the developer is loading YouTube videos and loading the new homes for sale on the map. So there's a disconnect between the community development when they load the bond and the developer when they sell the homes. So you can kind of figure things out, but you got to stay on your toes. You got to keep watching things. How do you get to that tab? It's the districtgov.org website. So districtgov.org here up in the way on the top. That's the village's community development district. That after the developer sells the district to the community development, they load all the information on the home on the website, because the developer sells the district goes to the market and issues a bond, and then because it's public information, the minute they get that bond information, they have to load it on their website. And that's what they're doing. These are all the bonds that they took out to pay off the developer for these neighborhoods. And they're loading them on before the developer is marketing the homes for sale. So that's kind of how you can kind of get a heads up of what's coming up. That's what I do. But it's not foolproof, because you can see some of these names are really cryptic. And if you look at the Landon Villas, for instance, you have a $38,000 bond. And you can pretty much reasonably be assured that the Landon Villas is some kind of a cottage home neighborhood because of the bond amount. Unless you have patio villas with $38,000 bonds, that would be ridiculous, but you never know. So there you have the bond for the Landon Villas. Unit 171, Landon Villas. I think it's going to be somewhere in the village of Oak Hollow. So I think this is going to be a future cottage villa home neighborhood, but I'm not sure. I am not sure. So that's how you do it, because some of these bonds, they actually label as cottage villa, like here, unit 249, that's a cottage villa. Griffin, Sophie Villas. Anyway, here's 178 Dyla Villa. 28,000. That's most likely a patio villa neighborhood. Landon Villas, Alex Villas, 159V, Alex Villas. That's 38,000. That amount probably is most likely a cottage home. It could be Courtyard Villas too, because Courtyard Villa neighborhoods have a bond in that $40,000 area. So it's a pig in a poke. You really don't know. It's a pig in a poke. Anyway, orange 15 minutes. Yeah, I saw that, RMD. To me, there's no difference. It's just a fancy word for Formica countertop. But the sales agents will say anything and spin anything to make it sound good. It's not, let's put it this way, the new Formica countertops are a little bit nicer, and they're not the same Formica countertops that your grandmother had 30 years ago, but they're still a Formica countertop. I get a kick out of it when realtors and real estate agents call them high resolution, high definition Formica countertops. Like, what? It's a Formica countertop. When I was doing open home videos, there would be a few real estate agents who would tell me, it's not Formica countertop, it's a high def. Make sure you say high def. And I roll my eyes and I said, okay, I'll say whatever you want me to say, but to me, it's still a Formica countertop. They're a little bit nicer than the old time Formica countertops of yesteryear. They're a little bit nicer. They look nicer, but again, they're Formica countertops. They just look a little nicer. They have better patterns nowadays. They have a little bit different edges, but they're still a Formica countertop. So to answer your question, sounds gimmicky, any good? I think it's gimmicky. I think it is. It's not as good as a solid surface. It's not as good as quartz or granite. It's still Formica. Anytime you have Formica, it just looks cheesy to me, especially when you walk into a home with a quartz countertop and you look at the Formica. It's like, that's the first thing I noticed when I did that video yesterday, the pre-owned home video. I said, ooh, it's got Formica countertops. And when you walk into a home, whether it's pre-owned or new, they stand out like a sore thumb. It's like, ugh. Because you're used to walking into these new homes with quartz countertops, and it's like, man, they look nice and slick and neat. And then you walk into the home with the Formica, and it's like, ew. And then the home yesterday, I did the video on the floors. I wasn't sure if it was rolled vinyl. It almost looked like rolled vinyl, but I think it was vinyl plank. When they were building homes in that Hammock at Fenny stage back in District 14, they were using some funky materials like that, Formica countertop, like that weird vinyl floor. And that's what that home had. It had some strange countertops and floors in. Anyway, so I'll try to do more pre-owned home videos. People seem to like the video that I released earlier today, at least for you. For me, it was yesterday. But I'll try to do more of those. But when I did that home video, it's like the hair on the back of my neck stood up when I saw the Formica countertops and that weird vinyl floor that they used to put in those homes like 4 or 5 years ago, the Villages. Yeah, they did. The new homes they got rid of the Formica. And I've been doing all my videos on the new homes recently, and I'm used to the quartz. And then yesterday I did the pre-owned home video and I saw the Formica and I was like, you. And I saw the vinyl floors and it's like, my God. It just reminded me why I didn't buy a new home like 5 years ago, because 5 years ago the Villages was using those materials in all their homes. It's like, yikes. And now they really upped their game. They're all using all new quartz countertops in their homes. And they're actually expanding the selection and variety of quartz. They used to only offer like one type of quartz countertop, white. It was a neon white. And now they're offering 2 or 3 different colors. Yeah, I'm going to do some more of those pre-owned homes. I wasn't sure if people were interested in those or not. And the reason I haven't done them is because I don't know what's in them. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell what kind of countertop it is. It's hard for me to tell what kind of flooring it is, but based on the picture, because I'm not there. So that's why I stayed away from the pre-owned home videos. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of times the spec sheets that the realtors publish and put on the internet are just flat out wrong, or they're inconclusive, or they're not complete. So it puts me in a tough spot to do a video if I'm on a video saying, yeah, this is a granite countertop when it's actually a laminate. It makes me look foolish. So I tried staying away from doing pre-owned home videos for that reason. I wish I could rely on the realtor information published, but even the video I did yesterday, I wasn't sure what the flooring was. I wasn't sure if it was plank flooring. I wasn't sure if it was rolled vinyl flooring. I'll try to do them, but I'm going to put big disclaimers on them. What I'm saying on this video may not be accurate, because I'm only going to go with what the realtor published in the spec information, and I know a lot of times it's just wrong information. And I just feel stupid going and doing a pre-owned home video if I'm guessing and speculating what materials there are. I'll do more when I get back to Florida. I'll do more on-site open house videos, because then I can see, I can feel, I can touch the materials, so I know what it is. But I'll do more on the video as well. Just keep in mind, don't bash me if I say something wrong, because the pictures are grainy, they're not the best, and the spec sheets a lot of times are inaccurate. But I'll try to do more pre-owned home videos. I will. What are we, 1 hour and 22 minutes? Any last questions? I think I'm going to wrap the live up. I'll go live again next week around the same time. Do a pre-owned video on home 1302 Tanza. Let me write that address down. And if you want me to do pre-owned home videos for specific home, just put it in a comment on one of my videos and I will do it. I'd rather have somebody tell me which home to do than me just pick a random home out to do. 1302 Fortaleza. Drive. All right, Matt, I'll try to do that one. Any chance you know how long before you have to build your home when you purchase a lot? Somebody answered that question. I think it's within 60 days or something. It's pretty fast. The villages expects, if you buy a lot with them, they expect you to essentially start the design and build process very quickly, like within 30 days or something like that. They don't want to be messing around, waiting around. So when you buy a lot of land, they expect that process to kick in and go right into the design phase pretty much immediately. I think it's like 30 days or something like that. It's really a short time frame. Are your bills close to the village's cost sheet? My bills. What is the village's cost sheet? I know they do. Let's take a look at that. The village's cost sheet. Let's do it. The village's cost. Cost. Of living. Let's just try it. Cost of living in the villages. All right, is this it? Oh, here we go. Is this what you're referring to? Utilities. Are your bills close to the village's cost sheet? Is this what you're referring to? Okay. Patio villa. I'm in a patio villa. Monthly amenity $199. Check. Trash collection $28. Yeah, that seems right. Sewer. Just wait. Water. Just wait. Let me get my phone. Oh. I have my bill on my phone. My last bill, they email it to me. And I'm going to check it. Somebody's banging on the walls here. Let's look at my latest utility bill. They sent me one recently. They email it. And right here, 2 days ago, I got it. My bill was $280. Can I see? I thought I could at one point could see the detail of it. $280 was my total bill. So let's see, average water 30 to 40. Your water is broken out into two different. You have portable water and you have irrigation water. Electric, yeah, $100 a month seems about right. Insurance, I'm paying $1,600 a year for insurance. $133. So my insurance is $133. My taxes, I think it was like $2,400 a year. Yeah. Yeah, $230 for taxes is right. What is average assessment? What is that? Bond and maintenance. That's my maintenance, I think, is like $235. Average water. So every month I get a bill of about $268. And that includes the amenity fee. So there you have it. So 268 divided 268 minus 199 equals 69. So what is that? So yes, I think it is pretty accurate. $280. So do your math. So 280, 40, gas and electric. So that does not include electric. So the $280 will include the amenity fee, the trash, the sewer, the water. So do the math. So you got 230, 270. Yeah. So that's about right. Yeah. The big difference is irrigation water. How often do you water your lawn? How often do you water the lawn? Do you need flood insurance? So that's the biggest variable, really, is if you water your lawn a lot, you could increase your water bill $30 or $40 a month. If you don't water your lawn a lot, and I think I water mine 2 times a week. And in summer, I think I do it more, like 3 times a week. So in summer, I think our bill goes up by like 10 or 20 bucks a month. But some people water their lawn 3, 4, 5 times a week, then your bill will go up. But overall, it's actually really cheap. $280 a month is what my bill is. It includes the amenity, includes the trash, includes the sewer, includes portable water and irrigation water. And the bill that fluctuates month to month is the irrigation water, depending on, like in the winter months, you don't irrigate your lawn. Very few, very little. I think I turn it off in winter, January, February. Your lawn, December, your lawn goes dormant. You don't want to water it. And then March, April, May, you start ramping it up twice a week, June, July, 3 times a week. And that's what fluctuates. And it's only fluctuating 10 or 20 bucks a month. It's not bad. The cost of living in the villages is actually really reasonable. I keep telling everybody that. It's really reasonable. But if you live in the new homes in the South, it gets more expensive. Your maintenance assessment fees on a patio villa in the South are going to approach $400 a year, rather than I'm paying $235 a year in the North. Your taxes, if you live in the city of Wildwood, you're paying $12 and some change per thousand assessed value. Where I live in Sumter County, it's only $10. So you have to know where you are. In the South, your maintenance assessment fees are going to be higher. Your taxes are going to be higher if you live in Lake County or in Wildwood in Sumter County. So they vary. That's why when the Villages publishes these averages, it's strange, because these averages might not apply if you live in Wildwood in a patio villa than if you live in District 5 in a patio villa, because the maintenance assessment fees are different. All right, there you have it. I think I'm going to wrap the video up. I spoke enough, hour and 30 minutes. We'll go live again next week, roughly the same time. Take care, everyone. Happy Sunday. Be safe.